What's up, YouTube? This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Stickman here, and just bringing you a quick deck profile. It's not going to be a full-blown deck profile. It's just going to be the changes I've made to the deck. But what I want to talk about first of all is being set for duels. So, like, if you walk into your regionals and you decide that you're going to have a quick duel, and you don't have let's say you forgot to add a card into your extra deck that could make or break the duel. Well, you need that card, which means you need to be prepared ahead of time and be ready for anything, okay? So, when you go to your vendor, if you have one, or when you go to your regionals to trade and buy cards and things, you need to make sure that if you're going to make any changes to your deck, you add it in right away. And so that's why I'm always saying, I wish I had such and such card because then I could add it into my deck and I would be more prepared. I don't really say that often on the channel per se, but I do say it to my friends and stuff. Now, as I talk about being prepared, you'll notice that I haven't even gotten the Leviathans yet, the 2 Leviathans, but I will be getting those soon, hopefully sometime either today or tomorrow, depending on when this video goes up. So the real concept of this video is, well, there's only one thing that I'm really going to be talking about. First of all, what do you guys think of my pink sleeves? Do you like them, yes or no? And should I switch over to the white sleeves, which are like this? These sleeves can get very dirty very quick, versus the pink sleeves, which have like a plasticky coating over them. I don't know if you guys can see it like with glare or anything, but they have like a plasticish coating over them, so they don't get as dirty as fast. And these ones feel kind of rough, but I do like the way they feel, however. So yeah, just leave a comment. Or I could get some blue sleeves or something. I don't know. Just a quick question, but I've always liked the white sleeves, the way they look. Alright, so first we have the main deck. Nothing really has changed in here except for, nothing's changed in the main deck except for that I took out one of the ally solids and I took out Undine. Why? Because if you just take out Undine to add another card from your side deck, sorry, if you just take out Undine to add another card from your side deck, then the 2 ally solids that you have in your deck are going to be useless. 1, you can't Ixies for a 2-star monster as far as I know. And if you can, I don't have one, so useless. 2, Undine has 1200, Solid has 1200 defense points. Yeah, he's decent defense, but he's not gonna really be useful in many situations. So it's better to have one Undine, one Undine and 2 solids, so that you can use Solid's ability with him, and then still have another one for like in case you come into one and don't come into Undine yet, or just whatever. Or it's better to have one solid and take these both out. Because one solid and one Undine is, you're going to have him in your hands and not know what to do with them, because 1200 attack, I mean really, come on. So yeah, that's that. But you should be happy to know that I did end up siding these 2. And the cards that I sided them out for are the cards that I decided I was going to make a video on. But over DevPro, I made a deck profile over DevPro, but unfortunately YouTube says it's going to take 14,765 minutes to upload. So I kind of abandoned that. Oh, YouTube. But the first card that I sided in was Eco, Mystical Spirit of the Forest. It's basically another Gorz. It's another one of Gorz's it's basically his battle damage effect combined with his effect damage effect. So when you take battle damage, you special him, get out a token with the same attack and defense as the monster, as the life points you just lost. Well, this one is when you take battle damage, you special it, but then you deal that damage back, and that's the same thing as Gorz's effect damage. So He's using Guard's effect damage ability, but this only happens when you take battle damage. It's kind of confusing. It's basically like having another Gores in the deck, which I find Gores really useful in any deck, and I love running Gores. And so I just decided to throw him in. Plus, he's a 4-star Earth monster, which that's pretty much what all my deck is next to Dark monsters. So these two actually do fit really well, even though it seems that, it may seem that they wouldn't fit in the Genex deck, but I tried it out over Dev Pro, and I tried it out against Digifreak9's Synchro. No, his his Dragon Lightsworn deck is not an official name for it yet because it doesn't, act per se like a Chaos Dragons deck would. But that's beside the point. These two worked out really well. I came to him, not Gores. I'm just gonna put him over here, and I was actually able to use his ability. And so, yeah, I just like him in the deck. He's really useful. And the other card I cited him was Morphing Jar. And I actually got to use Morphing Jar several times in a duel against his Digifreak9 Synchro deck, where he basically, it's Synchro heavy, and he managed to get out 3 Synchros on the field. Now, this card, yeah, it causes your opponent to lose their hand, and I found that a lot of times in our duel, I would come into either a dead hand or I wouldn't have a hand at all. He would have like 1 or 2 cards maybe, so it wouldn't even be that detrimental to either of us. When the purpose is to either restack your hand or wipe out your opponent's hand, which should be helpful to you. But it isn't so. I mean, and the only reason I'm keeping them in there is because I need 40 cards, obviously. And these two are the cards that I cited out. And unless I find another card that I like better than one of these that I might want to put in there, then that'll be good. Because one Undine and one Solid, like I said, it just doesn't work. Okay, I've tried it and it just doesn't, guys. So unless I find something that's like way better than Morphing Jar, because Morphing Jar, I don't like it in the deck, honestly. It's kind of useless in the deck, because like in one of my hands I had like 3 controllers, Morphing Jar, and I had a sorry, I keep yawning, I'm tired, it's early. I had 3 controllers, Morphing Jar, and a Infernal Reckless something like that. So I used I set Morphing Jar actually, and I set Infernal Reckless Summon. The next turn I drew, and I summoned Controller. Then I used Infernal Reckless Summon on the field to get the other 3 out of my hand, and that was that. Then I flipped up Morphing Jar, and I discarded the 1 card that I had in my hand, but unfortunately my opponent, Digifreak9, only had like 2 cards in his hand, so it didn't even help. Plus, when I drew my 5 more cards, I could do literally nothing with that hand. I hate this card being in the deck. I want it out so bad, but there's nothing I can really do about it at the moment because, like I said, I have nothing to put in for it. So I'm going to work on that, hopefully today or tomorrow, like I've been saying, with my vendor. So yeah, that's basically all the changes to the main deck. Oh yeah, but this card in the deck is really good. I like it in the deck. It's basically all the changes that I've made to the main deck. For the extra deck, right now I have 15 cards. It's 1, 2, let's just do this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13, 14, 15. I have 15 cards, but you guys know that I have 2 Leviathans coming in, so that's a problem. Because 15 cards is the limit. You cannot have a deck box of 40 extra deck cards. It's illegal. No, go home. So, what I plan to do was for the 3 extra deck, or for the 3 cards. Oh yes, before I get into that, I got 2 tokens from TA Zonk, that's my vendor. And yeah. I got the 2 tokens, and I got Eco and Morphing Jar from him as well. Plus, I'm getting a Leviathan from him. But I really like these tokens. They are both ultra rare. They're cool. Got an Emissary of Darkness and a Grebo token. I just like them. And the reason I have 2 tokens and 1 Gorge is because you, if I'm not mistaken, no, Eco doesn't do that. But you can get a Gorge out more than once in one duel. I mean, I run Monster Reborn, so you can get it out more than once. Yeah. Anyways, the extra deck cards that I got from him are Locomotion Genex, I love him, and Fairy King Elberditch. He's good because he's 4 stars as usual, 2 level 4 Earth monsters. That's basically all that's in the deck is Earth and Dark monsters. So yeah, and then I'll just quickly give you a summary. Once per turn, if you detach an Ixie from the card, then all non-Earth monsters, they lose 500 attack and defense, which is really, really helpful, especially if you're going to battle with them. So yeah. Plus, he's not destroyed or anything if he doesn't have any Ixie's material. And Locomotion Genex, when he is synchro summoned, you can take control of a face-up monster your opponent controls at the highest level. You basically get to take control of his strongest monster, but the only problem with him is, 1, he uses dark monsters, which I do have some in the deck, but not a whole lot, and 2, he's got, let me check really quickly, 9 stars, so that's more stars than even Colossal Fighter has, I believe. Yeah, that's more stars than Colossal Fighter, and he's probably my strongest synchro monster. That's even more stars than Stardust Dragon. So I mean, Locomotion Genex is very, very, very powerful, and he's useful. But I find that I have a hard time getting him out because my synchro monsters have like 4 stars at the most, and then I'll use maybe one other monster to synchro. But with him, you have to use multiple monsters, which can be a challenge because unless you use a Reckless Summon or something of that nature, then yeah, you're done for. So, just as a quick example, and this would be amazing if this actually happened in a duel. So let's say you have Genex Spare on the field, 3 stars. Where is it? Then you would use, and you had an Infernal Reckless Summon set down, okay? You had an Infernal Reckless Summon set down, okay? Like so. Yeah. And you had an Ally Reliever in your hand. Now, because I run 2 Genex Ally Relievers, or do I? Yes, I do. I had 1 in my hand, 1 in the deck, okay? Now, I have him down, and let's say I negate the activation of a spell card somehow. Just through something. Then he would get special summoned, and I could quick play chain Infernal Reckless Summon, which would then allow me to bring out my second Ally Reliever, and instead of hitting for, instead of swinging for 44 damage, because I would honestly never use him to attack. That's just how I play. But instead of swinging for 44, I could easily make them with these 2 and like let's say a just a random 1-star monster. So that's how that would work, like an Oracle. Then next turn I would summon an Oracle and combine all 3 of them to make Genex Locomotion. But that is a very turn-intensive process, and by that I mean it takes up a lot of time and a lot of energy to try and do that. And so that's why he's not my favorite synchro monster, but I do like him. So, and that's why I'm saying, you know, it's a lot harder to get him out than it seems. So, but I think it was a good trade for the card in general. because I'm sure there will come a time when I have plenty of monsters on the field that I can use to make it. The other thing that I wanted to show you was Guyonite the First Word. This is what I'm going to be using to get my Leviathan Dragon from Digifreak 9. Because he has one, but in his Synchro deck, because it's so heavy and he's such a good card, just all around, and because I never use him, um, you know, he wanted him, and he's more useful to him in that deck. So I'm trading away my Guyonite sometime this week, probably. So say goodbye, Guyonite, for a Leviathan Dragon, which I am hoping that it will be more useful. It should be more useful because then, if I use Infernal Reckless Summon on Genex controller, which I run 3 of, then I'll have um, 3 of them out on the field. So then I can just go ahead and overlay for Leviathan Dragon, and then I'll have another one. So if I choose not to, or if I choose to use Leviathan Dragon's ability, during my main phase, I don't remember what his ability is, but say it's like you can detach a material to destroy a card in the field. I'm not saying that's what it is, but So let's say it is. Now I detach one from Leviathan Dragon. Now I still have a tuner on the field, so I can sync for a 6-star monster. I just like Leviathan Dragon overall. I think he's great. So yeah, that is the deck, guys. I hope to see you later. I will bring you a trade binder update soon, as soon as I get the Leviathan Dragons, or possibly before that. And yeah, peace. Like, subscribe, comment, rate.